Evan out there on the ice? Just any updates for his status tomorrow?
Nothing yet. It was just this step-up program. He'll skate tomorrow morning, and that's where we'll make the decision. So again, he hasn't been ruled out, but he hasn't been cleared.
Looking at the series, only 4 games, but 16 of your players have a point already in this series. Just how happy have you been with kind of the top to bottom depth performance from your team?
I think that's what's going on in this series, and it would be true in some ways of their team as well, in that you got some pretty good defensive structure, which means for the most part everybody's playing against their own pay grade. There's not a difference really in style defensively between our top line and our 4, and I would say that's true of Toronto as well. So it's going to be, it's not necessarily the shooter that's going to win you the game or the guy that you normally predict to score. It's just be a battle through 4 lines.
You've talked in the past about Brad Marchand joining that Lundell line.
Yeah.
Was that something that, I mean, because everybody was just assumed you were going to put him with Bennett and Kachuk,
Yeah.
but did that just seem like a natural fit to you to go with Lundell and Luostarinen?
Yeah, I think that, I'm not saying that this is not a media idea. I think the social idea that people outside would say, oh my God, what would that line look like, right? But at that time, at the start, neither one of those guys are in our lineup at the time. And when Matthew came back at the start of the Tampa series, he wasn't where he is now. He had a ways to go. So I wouldn't have put those guys together. But once Brad had gotten on the ice and gotten healthy, because he was injured as well, you started to see that there was something that he does that those other 2 young players could really benefit from. So it came together pretty quickly, that idea.
And you're on record saying chirping is a lost start, but so is Brad Marchand kind of a throwback? I mean, you got to sit there some days and just chuckle.
It's still not as much fun because there's not as much stuff coming back anymore. The kinder, gentler world that we live in. I just like his enthusiasm for the game. The older players have such a different perspective. They just love coming to the rink for practice. They love all parts of the game because it's not going to last forever for them. There's going to come a time that there's not a locker room for them to walk into and chirp so easily. So they appreciate it, and you can feel that appreciation from them.
Although now on TV you see him chirping, kind of with the TNT guys.
Yeah.
The retired guys are going back.
Yeah. It's still not as good as it used to be. Good old days, George.
Coach, with the series now tied, how much do you guys embrace the moment, especially with a Game 5 on the road in Toronto?
I think this is true of both teams. It's 82 games is a grinder for you. And then in each series, as you hit the Game 5 mark, it's clearly, well, not always, but a 2 out of the 3 or an elimination game in Game 5. So I think the intensity amps up, not just because of the urgency of the moment. The understanding is that there's, for one of 2 really, really good teams, there's only 2 or 3 games left in your season. Right? It either ends in Game 6 or it ends in Game 7. So that kind of, there's nothing to save it for idea. You see the energy amp up.
Paul, with Sam Bennett, he had that beautiful goal on Sunday. Just he gets a lot of attention for hitting and his attitude and everything like that, but his just pure like skill level, he's averaging I think like a point a game basically in the playoffs. Just what does he bring? Have you seen him develop over the last couple of years, and what does he bring to like just the skill of the game?
Yeah, Sam is one of those guys. He's had a couple of big hits in the last few years, and it's in the playoffs. So he's a version of the coming out party. As you get to 2 months of playoff hockey in back-to-back years, people will start to notice that. But he's got a really nice, and we haven't seen it as much lately, but he's got a great ability to score off the rush through people. He's got a really quick release that he can get it off. I think he's probably quite a bit faster than we would know. Like in part, we've almost had to have him slow his game down at certain parts of the ice just so that we could catch up to him. But he's got great speed. He's a powerful, fast skater. But he's got some small area hands. There is a bit of what he has going on is similar to what Carter Verhaeghe has. The game has to get to a certain speed level for it to come out or have the opportunity to be shown. And in the playoffs, those two guys together play at such a high rate of speed that they almost create the environment for each other.
The defensive effort that you guys had in Game 4, how are you able to get your team back to that, and how do you replicate that in Game 5?
Well, I would like to think that that's not, that doesn't make sense. I was going to say it's not necessarily a place we aspire to, that we hope we can get there. We would actually think that's our base foundation. That's our adjustments are usually to that game. And then I think the first 7 to 7.5 games of our playoff life this year have been against very dynamic teams in that kind of rush from one end to the other game. So we're still learning how to adapt that to a hard gap game. It's the most difficult game to hard gap is the game the two teams that we've played have played. So I'm hoping the adaptation process is continuing and going, and we're starting to get a hang of it, of when we can press and when we've got to pull off. But the gap is such a critical part to what we do. That is all we've talked about for 3 years, right? The vast majority of what we talk about, I don't spend a lot of time talking about our offensive play. It's almost all that, and I think we've been good at times. I think Game 4 would have been our best in terms of consistency through the 3 periods of looking the way we hope to. But the other team gets paid too, and they have a lot to do with you not being able to set that gap.
I guess, is there any reason why that isn't just reps? I mean, is there any reason why it came together as a Game 4?
I think you saw it in Game 3. There's a piece of that came through in Game 3 after the first period, I thought. Some of it is, I've joked about it, but getting through the first 35 seconds without giving up a goal has a pretty strong impact on how you feel the game's going. And confidence is built in each game or lost in each game, and you're constantly trying to feel good about yourself and your game, but that was the tough way to start 2 of those 3 games. So we were a little behind it. I don't even know, though, if we came out wrong in Game 1. I don't know that. It's just you looked up and you're down 2-0. You go, well, this isn't right. So getting that, both teams wanting to get that, because the series is so tight, get that positive feeling in the first 10 minutes is important. And then you kind of just, both of you then can have a better chance of implementing your game if your confidence is there and your quickness is there.
Coach, back here. You mentioned Marchand, his enthusiasm for the game coming to the rink. How important is it to have a veteran like that for the future of this club, for young guys, like you said, that are on the same line, to see him even on an optional skate day, to be out there?
Yeah. Oh, really important. And it has to be consistent, so you can't have just one guy as that player. So we do have a whole bunch of great role models here, the Barkov effect, these guys, Forsling, all these guys that train so very hard. But in some ways, quiet men, right? They're so consistent, and they would certainly lead by example. But Maurice has such an extroverted personality that you just want to be around him on an off day too, because he has fun, right? There's lots of pressure. There's pressure, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to war, right? Nobody's carrying a gun to work, like our jobs. But you want something so bad, and the pressure, you need somebody in there who looks like they're having fun with it. We can't be all, I can't use that. We can't be uptight, right? So you need somebody that plays really hard. It's not a casualness, because that's dangerous, right? It's very intense and very happy at the same time. I mean, that might be the 2 pieces to his personality that make him so valuable. Okay, everybody.
For Lundy, Paul always talks about how he doesn't really believe in momentum, but given the fact you guys did win the last 2 games, is there a certain level of confidence heading into Game 5 here up in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we just, try to play as fast as simple we can. Last games gave us better result, but at the same time, we know it's going to be a hard battle going into the arena. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a new challenge for us, but we're excited to face that.
I guess Niko, just a little bit about going up to Toronto. The home teams are 2-0 in this series, and Anton, you can answer this too. Just what's the level of confidence that you guys can go up to Toronto, get one, and come back up 3-2? You've got to feel pretty good about that?
Yeah, I think we're a good road team, and we need to steal one from their building. That's the name of the game, and yeah, just do our thing and play our game. So I think we don't have to change too much.
I want to talk a little bit about the physicality in this series against the Maple Leafs. How are you guys continuing to be able to hold them down, especially in crucial moments like in the third period? And then also, Max Domi got fined $5,000, on Barkey's hit. Do you guys have any comment on that as well, of what happened with that at the end of the game?
I just think, it's been a physical series. We hit, they hit. It's part of the game, part of playoffs. So you gotta, be aware all times on the ice. But at the same time, it's awesome. It's great to play playoff hockey, and whenever it's at the biggest, that's where we like to play. When it really matters, the games.
Meeks, going back to last game, obviously much better defense off the rush. The gaps were tight. Did you guys make adjustments, or was that more just the execution of the game you guys were trying to execute the whole time?
Yeah, we've been talking about it like they're a dynamic team with a lot of skill and speed. We need to have a good caps, and it's starting from the forecheck and how we put the pucks deep, and I think we managed to do that pretty well last game, so yeah, happy with that.
Lundell, you guys approach Game 5 as how crucial. Obviously, it's now a best-of-3 series. How do you guys go into that and the momentum and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I think we all know it's a big game for both teams, and we want to be able to be ready and play our best. But at the same time, you got to go out there and enjoy it. Get that confidence and bring that with us. But just go out there, do our best.
Anton, I wanted to ask you about playing with Brad Marchand. Paul Maurice has said a few times that he's kind of, as vocal as he is, let's just say, kind of raised the stakes a little bit for you and your line. What's it been like, and is it fun just being on the ice and hearing him chirp those guys that maybe you got chirped by him back in the, not too long ago?
Yeah, I feel like it's never a boring moment around Brad. So, he's one of those guys. It's always fun to be around him, and you never know what he's gonna say next. So you're always kind of on your toes. But it's been awesome to play with him. We talk a lot as a line, and go through some plays and what we can do better, but just his attitude, his leadership, it's been very impressive.
About his leadership? It's an optional skate today, yet he's out there. What does that mean to you guys to know that he's all in like this, invested in this club?
Yeah, it just tells what kind of person he is. He wants to get better. He's been around a long time, so we don't question what works for him. He does his thing, and we believe in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.